Let's shift focus to Godrej Properties. Under some pressure, the MD and CEO Mohit Malhotra has resigned from the company, though the numbers are very good. My colleague Sonal Bhutra actually had the chance to catch up with the executive chairman Pirojsha Godrej to understand how the company is going to be taken forward now that Mohit is moving on.
We did have this big development on the leadership team side. Mohit actually has plans to start an entrepreneurial venture, and I'm very hopeful that he'll make a great success of that. We, as you rightly pointed out, did have a strong succession plan in place. Gaurav Pandey, who's currently the CEO of the North Zone for Godrej Properties, will take over as Managing Director and CEO effective January 1st of 2023. So we have a good period to ensure a smooth succession and handover. And Gaurav has been doing fantastic work for the business in NCR. If we look at last year's numbers, our North Zone contributed about 40% to the total bookings of the company. If we look from a P&L perspective, the contribution is even larger. So I think Gaurav has done a fantastic job improving his capabilities and his ability to build an exciting team and deliver results. And we're very much looking forward to his leadership at the Godrej Properties level. And as I mentioned, Mohit will be starting his own venture, for which we wish him very well.
So no external candidate then?
Yes, an internal candidate is Gaurav, who's been CEO already of a big part of our business, will be taking over. And I think that's quite important for us, that these important internal roles, if we're able to fill them with our own internal talent, that's very good news usually.
No, of course, that's understandable as well, because Mohit also was with your company for a long time, and he was also promoted to the MD and CEO of the company. So that makes sense, the way things are going with Godrej Properties for now. So let's talk numbers now. 10,000 crore rupees, you say you're on track to achieve that target as far as FY23 numbers are concerned. Will it be via JVs? Will it be plotted developments? What is the launch pipeline looking like? Can you give us some numbers in that regard?
So no, we have a very exciting launch pipeline. We have a mixed bag of plotted developments, group housing projects, some exciting new projects in the business development pipeline that we hope to launch either later this financial year or in the upcoming financial year. But 10,000 crore was the number that we hope to deliver for a full year perspective from a bookings number. And I think typically we've seen that the second half of the financial year has usually been a stronger period for both the sector as a whole, as well as for Godrej Properties. And this year, we're very happy to note that we've had our best ever first quarter and actually have already done 25% of the annual 10,000 crore number we were hoping to deliver. So I think we're well on track to achieve that number. We also have a large number of deliveries planned in the second half of this year, which should also result in a boost to reported revenues and earnings.
Okay, so will that be driven largely by volumes, the booking number that you're talking about, or there will be some price factor as well? Because as we speak, we are seeing that, yes, commodity costs have come down, but a lot of your peers are of the fact that, yes, price hikes will still be on cards, and the quantum could be anywhere between 10 to 12%. What is the case for you?
That's correct, Sonal. I think it will be a mix of volumes and pricing. For us to deliver 10,000 crore would imply a growth over last year of about 27%. I would hope that the majority of that 20% will come from volumes, but pricing will certainly play an important part. And it's also important to keep in mind that in real estate, the project mix can make a big difference. So for example, in the first quarter, one of the things we're very happy with was that we crossed 1,000 crore of sales from just the Mumbai market alone. And Mumbai, given real estate prices tend to be a bit higher, tends to aid that overall pricing momentum. But on a like-to-like basis for existing projects, and again, it depends slightly from one geography to the next, but we've already seen price increases of 5 to 10% typically over the last year. And I would estimate that something similar is likely, if not even more, in the year ahead.
Okay, so interestingly, you brought up the Mumbai market because, of course, prices here are through the roof. And you just spoke about a new project yesterday in your press release. And you told us that the revenues there could be around 1,200 crore rupees. The Carmichael project is what I'm talking about. What will it get executed this year itself? When will the revenues from that project start coming in? And what is the investment that you're making to buy that land?
From a revenue perspective, we follow, like most developers, the project completion accounting method. So we have quite a few steps to go through before we see any...
No, actually, I meant in terms of bookings. My bad. Yes, of course, accounting is not something that is in your hands. But in terms of bookings, what is the response that you're expecting there?
Yes, I think it's one of the best locations anywhere in the country, a very, very prime location within Mumbai. So certainly we think that project will receive a good reception. It's quite a small project, an ultra luxury project. So we'll be focused on ensuring we get the right price for it as well. And yes, I would hope that project would be launched sometime next calendar year. The exact timing will of course be linked to regulatory approvals, but we are very optimistic that project will do very well. And one of the advantages of a project of this type that is very small is that even from a P&L recognition perspective, it can be done quite quickly because the actual construction time, it'll be a single tower, quite small. So we can hopefully complete and deliver that project quite quickly.
All right. Well, Pirojsha, Godrej saying that they'll deliver bookings of close to 10,000 crores odd. They're looking at a growth of close to 27% in this year. Out of that, 20% will be volume growth, and also they're looking for a replacement for Mohit. So that's the key takeaways that are coming in there. By the way, before we went to that interview, you had some news that was flashing for you on the screen on IDFC.